organization that it creates in the minds of the employee when you are having an onboarding system, a system in order to make the new employee aware about the organization, about the organization culture, the hierarchy, the manner in which work is required to be done, the reporting systems, and so on, right? So that's what we had seen last time. Now, today essentially we'll be looking into, essentially we'll be looking into the kitchen order ticket system in a restaurant, right? Essentially, so that's what we will look into. What do we exactly mean, or why at all this kitchen order ticket system was essential, then the importance, then what are the different types of KOTs, and why shouldn't we be using the paper KOTs, and why at all it needs a digital KOT in order to what you can say, demand for a particular menu, or the as per the requirements of the customers, the manner in which the demands are being recorded, they are being communicated, and where the needs of the customers are being taken care of, right? Okay, so that's where we start with what do you mean by KOT as such. Now, this kitchen order tickets, they have come a long way, we can say. There used to be the names of dishes written on tiny paper slips, okay, that a server used to initially that a server brought to the kitchen and stuck on the kitchen counter. So just as we have post-it notes right now, that's where we attach them in the file. So similarly, post-it notes or tiny paper slips were being used, okay, where the orders, that's what you can see in the diagram, given by the customer was noted down, it was torn, and then it was attached to the kitchen counter. Now the chef would then look at the tickets to shout out the orders into the kitchen. Now, the restaurant industry in recent years, it has seen a tremendous change in terms of technology being used for different functions. So all the restaurant operations are getting digitized, right? This has greatly simplified the restaurant management system as such. So that's where today the kitchen order tickets are generated instantly, and they are sent to the kitchen display systems that are placed in the restaurant kitchen. Okay, so that's where we look into what do we mean by a KOT. Now, this is a written document that is given to the kitchen in exchange of any dish or any item that is being picked up from the kitchen. Now, it is prepared by essentially by food service personnel to what we can say intimate the food order of the guest to the kitchen staff. So that's where the food service personnel, or essentially the waiter, will be noting down the order and insisting the kitchen staff to produce the same. Now, what is the need of the kitchen order system? So that the demands made by the customers are met in a right way. The right demand, the A, B, C, D, 4 customers are setting. So essentially the demand that is placed by A, the same demand, it goes to A instead of going to some other person. So that's the purpose essentially of raising a kitchen ticket, where the ticket will specify the demands of the customers as such. Okay, so a kitchen orders ticket is simply the order that the customer places. Now the server takes the order, okay, it punches it into the POS system. The POS system then prints a ticket via compatible printers. Now this printed ticket is then sent to the kitchen, and all the, what you can say, all the menu or the dishes that are ordered, they are retained inside the POS. And now this data can generate the sales reports as well. So what is the it essentially goes into the billing system as well. So not only it helps to place the order in the kitchen, to serve the right customer with the right dish, but at the same time it takes care of the billing requirements as such. Okay, can someone mute yourself? Who is this? Yes, I believe Satish. Satish needs to mute himself, right? Okay, yes. So that's what we meant by kitchen order ticket. Now this KOT, it consists now. So what are the details that a waiter will have to mention in this KOT? It will essentially consist of details such as the table number, okay, the name of the waiter, the date, the time, then the items that are ordered and its quantity, and the actual charge for the number of items that are being ordered as given in the menu card. So usually all the KOTs are serially numbered. Why they are serially numbered? So that one will be able to identify the number of orders that are being placed by the waiter with respect to the customers that he is serving. Okay, so that will help to have a control over the orders that are being raised. Then the food check again can be duplicate or triplicate depending upon the size and the style of the restaurant. So now that's where let us look into. So once we are done with this, a KOT will be written as the order is written along the lines, okay, not up or down. Then the indication is given between the courses. A few lines are left in the KOT, that space is struck off and the quantity of each dish is written in words rather than in numbers in order to avoid any further confusion, right? So that's the manner in which a KOT is being prepared. So now what could be the importance as such of the KOT? Essentially to coordinate between the kitchen and the service personnel, to avoid any confusion at the pickup counter. So where the dishes will be kept ready, the waiter will be coming to the kitchen, picking up the dishes and then serving the customers. It helps in accountability with respect to the items that are being ordered, accountability with respect to the manner in which, the time in which the services are being given and the records that are maintained. So it facilitates or helps the proper control system. Again, things, as we know that things are attached with billing, so automatically the correct bill will be printed. So that's where it will be saving the time of the waiters as well. And then if at all you do a post analysis, okay, post analysis of the number of orders that are being placed with a particular variety of a dish, then that's where you can identify the items that are going hot in the restaurant. Going hot meaning thereby the items that are ordered on an ongoing basis, more number of orders being placed for the dish. So accordingly the planning system will take care to see to it that they are procuring the necessary items on time, so that the more what you can say, the fast moving items are taken care of, okay, that are high in demand, right? So that's the importance of a KOT or a kitchen order ticket. Now let us look into what are the different types of KOTs. Okay, so first is triplicate checking method. Okay, so let us see how does this system work. Now in triplicate checking system, okay, now it is a traditional system and it is time tested. Over the period of time, people have worked with this, experience this system, that it is very efficient. But then still they also at the same time they also say that it is a vague system as such. Now, as the same implies, the food check has 3 copies. Each copy will have the same serial number on them and be of different color for easy identification and demarcation. So wherever the food is ordered, okay, so that's where 3 copies will be created with a different color. Okay. Now, once the order is recorded on the KOT, then what will happen? The first copy goes to the kitchen, right? Or the dispense bar, on the basis of which the order is prepared. So that's where the cook gets to know who is to be served with what dish. Now, once the waiter picks up the order, then the KOT copy is dropped into the control box. Now, with this control box is always kept locked. Now, the control box is maintained by the Food and Beverage Control Department to prevent any kind of fraud or malpractice. So that's where they get to know the number of the quantity with respect to each dish that has been ordered in the restaurant. Fine. Then the second copy will go to the cashier, and based on that, the bill will be prepared. Now, again, this bill has 2 copies. The first copy of the bill will go to the guest, and the other copy will be retained by the cashier. Okay. The cashier attaches the second copy of KOT to second copy of bill and submit it along with the sales summary to Food and Beverage Department that takes a control or an audit at the end of the day, right? So the number of copies that are received from the cashier and the number of copies that are dropped in the box, okay, so that will be verified for the purpose of control. Now the third copy of KOT will remain with the waiter in the KOT book for reference purpose and checking up the order during service. So it may be called for auditing at any time by the control department. Is that okay? So this was with respect to the triplicate checking method, where 3 copies of the order that are being placed by the customers are being prepared and they are utilized for having a control at the same time, right? Then we look into a duplicate checking method. So as the name suggests, instead of having 3 copies for record as well as for control purpose, here essentially we will be just having 2. So now this is especially used in comparatively smaller hotels or cafes, okay, and popular restaurants as such. Now, as the name says, it has 2 copies. First copy is sent to the kitchen on the basis of which the order is prepared. Now, when the waiter picks up the order, the first copy is dropped in the control box. Okay, so we don't have a separate copy for the control box as such, right, for auditing by the control department. Then the waiter retains the second copy as a means of reference during the service. When the guest requests for the billing, the waiter or the cashier will sum up all the rates on the second copy of the KOT and he will present the same to the guest as a bill, right? So that's where in few organizations, the copy has 4 to 5 perforated slips, okay, instead of having the same entire copy being issued in different colors or for identification purpose, it will be having perforated slips. The waiter writes down the food order course wise on different perforated slips. Now, as and when each course is required, that particular slip is torn off and that it will be given at the hot plate. So every slip has a waiter number, table number, the serial number of the order being placed and the date when it is placed. So when the food is ready, right, the waiter will keep the particular slip along with the food in order to avoid the confusion. So that's with duplicate checking method. And then we have a single order sheet where this system is generally used in cafes or what you can say as a quick turnover restaurants, like where to-go parcels are being given, or in departmental stores or and taken away establishments. So usually takeaway establishments, right? So that's where the to-go parcels are being given on the way. So what happens now, these such type of what you can say quick turnover restaurants, they don't have a menu card or a big list of item in order to serve their customers. Okay, the menu is very limited and very little or no choice practically at all. So many organizations following this system may have order sheet that is printed along with the menu. So after taking the order from the guest, the waiter writes it on the KOT, calls for the order verbally over the hot plate, right? So that's when the guest requests for the bill, the waiter prices the order sheet and hands over the same copy as a bill. So while leaving the restaurant, the guest simply submits the bill to the cashier and pays the amount. So the cashier will then retain the bill for the control purpose. So a single, what you can say, order sheet which gets converted into a bill, and then the same bill is retained once the amount is paid for control purpose. So that is single order sheet. Okay, and the fourth type is service with order. Now in this system of ordering, it is just in what you can say fast food joints or takeaway or cafeterias. Now here the menu offered in the establishment will be displayed generally on wall mounted boards. The guests choose what they want to eat and then order that. Now the person at the cash counter makes the bill, collects the cash, stamp, will put a stamp that the bill is received, and then he will be handing it over to the guests. Okay, so that's what happens in case say of Domino's pizzas. All right. So the guest goes to the respective food counter and then collects the dish against the bill. So after delivering the order, the person at the food counter stamps the bill delivered and then hands it over to the guest. So that is service with order, right? First the bill is prepared, submitted to the customer against the cash, and that's when the customer will pick up the menu that he has ordered as such. Okay, now that's where let us, yes. So that's where why shouldn't you be using what you can say paper KOTs in your restaurants? Okay, because it will result into more the number of efforts. Mistakes can take place where wrong orders could be placed. Okay, in case you miss out on the paperwork, then again the manner in which you are going to keep the control on the things, it will become difficult. Okay, and again that's against the environment, right? Too many paperwork in the kitchen, that can lead to a great confusion as such. Okay, so this picture depicts the area where the cooks are actually working and taking care of the orders one by one as and how they flow into the kitchen. Yes, so that's where so uh, with the digital KOTs, now you can see the difference between the paper KOTs and digital KOTs, right? So that will save the time, increased efficiency, no more messed up orders, minimum waste, and higher sales and lower the expenses. And that's where the chef can focus on every order that is placed instead of looking here and there for the papers where the orders will be noted, right? Yes. So that's where, yes, that's where we, yes, I do one more thing. I'll again share this thing because I think I need to select that. Uh, yes, share sound. Only then you will be able to view the video as such.
Greetings of the day. Hope you all are having a great time. Let's get started with this new session. My name is Ms. Prachivani, and today we're going to discuss about order taking in food and beverage service outlets.
Excuse me, ma'am.
This video will focus
Yes,
on
is this audible?
Ma'am, is this all audible but video not visible?
It's not that clear. Okay, just a
No,
moment. I'll
not
just.
video
It's
is
not
not there.
visible only.
Yes.
It's not visible at all. Like
Yes,
the
yes, yes. I think I'll have to close down a few things. Just a moment. Yes, now hopefully.
आवाज आलता
Mm,
Greetings of the day. Hope you all are having a great time. Let's get started with this new session. My name is Ms. Prachivani, and today we're going to discuss about order taking in food and beverage service outlets.
yes.
Hello, ma'am.
It's clear now.
No.
This video will
Video is
focus
not
on
visible.
importance of food and beverage control.
ma'am
Yes.
hello
Yes.
ma'am still we are on the PPT, that kitchen order ticket.
Video will not visible.
It's not visible
No, ma'am.
because initially it was blurred. Now for me, it's coming very clear.
No, initially
No.
ma'am we were in the same slide.
Okay, I think I haven't shared this, or you are able to view it, but it's blurred again.
No.
Ma'am, the screen which you was teaching, that is the same screen which we can see. Yeah, the screen is not changed in front of us.
Madam, may I suggest something?
Yes.
Please stop sharing this PPT, and again you share video option.
Okay, okay. I'll do one thing. I'll share screen now, and now you just check and tell me. Are you able to view it?
Yes.
Topics to be covered, we can see that this slide.
Okay.
My name is Ms. Prachivani, and today we're going to discuss about order taking in food and beverage service outlets. This video will focus on importance of food and beverage control, various order taking methods, understanding KOT and BOT, and flowchart of the KOT. So what is F&B control? Now, a food and beverage control may be defined as the guidelines and regulations of the cost and revenue of operating the catering activity in a food and beverage establishment. So, a control system covering the sale of all food and beverages is vital to accomplish maximum return. In large establishments, you will see a department known as food and beverage controls, who will make sure to have a smooth control system in various food and beverage outlets. In smaller establishments, an assistant manager of the outlet can do the same job, as we might not have the entire department working towards the controlling of food and beverage. A control system should be simple to use for the entire food and beverage team. Now let's understand functions of food and beverage control. Here, the first one is breakdown of income and sales. The second one is efficient control of issued items from the various departments. For example, you are in a coffee shop and you are going to the stores and asking for your daily requirement of, let's say, the food and beverage items that you need. Now, whenever you're taking anything from the stores, it needs to be recorded. That record is extremely important for you to know how much is ordered and how much is received. Another function of FME control is to reduce the pilferage and wastage. By doing all this, we are also going to generate reports for management, which will help them to meet the budget objectives. At the end, assurance of accurate bill is charged to the customer is also something which is very important for us to remember. So a bill should not be undercharged or overcharged. Importance of F&B control. A checking system is necessary to keep control of the number of covers which are sold and the items which are sold. Now, control, which indicates checking at every stage, will make sure that the presentation of the correct bill to each guest is happening without delay. As I said, overcharging or undercharging is something which is not acceptable. All the items sold must be paid for, and to ensure that money is received or credit has been authorized. So nothing should go without any kind of amount which is attached to it. Now, clerical procedures would be necessary to control items which are sold and money received, or the credit which is entitled. It would often include the restaurant checking system, meal and sales analysis, etc. So whenever we are generating a bill, we end up making n number of reports. Those reports are important for us to have a tight control on whatever is happening in various food and beverage outlets. So all the food and beverage items are only obtained by a waiter on presenting a check for items required. Nothing without a check should be given to the waiter or a steward. A check is a written proof that a guest has been served with the items that he has ordered. Now we're talking about control methods. We're going to focus on triplicate and duplicate checking system. Sales analysis sheet and operational statistic can be done little later. Now let's understand main methods of order taking. The first one is triplicate system. As the name says, we are talking about 3 copies here. Here, the order is taken, top copy goes to the supply point, and the second is then sent to the cashier. Third is with the waiter, and he's going to use that as a reference during the service. Now, when we're talking about duplicate system, order is taken, top copy goes to the supply point, second copy is with the waiter as reference during the service, and the same is going to be used for billing. When we say service with order, this is where order is taken, customer is served, and payment is received according to the order. Pre-ordered, here food is pre-ordered and mostly paid for in advance. Example, room service breakfast or hospital tray system or banquets. Here in room service breakfast, the money or the bill can be then settled when the customer is checking out. But otherwise for banquets, the food menu is decided and an advance is already paid. Now, let's understand what is KOT and BOT because we're going to use these terms again and again. KOT is kitchen order ticket. Food orders are taken on this ticket. BOT is beverage order ticket. Beverages and their orders are taken on this ticket. So let's begin with understanding our triplicate system. This system is traditional and time-tested and very efficient. As the name suggests, the food check has 3 copies. Each copy has the same serial number on them, but could be of a different color for easy identification. Information like table number, number of covers, date, signature of the steward is a must on any KOT. KOT is kitchen order ticket. Once the order is recorded on the KOT, the first copy goes to the kitchen or the dispense bar. Now, when you're sending a copy to the dispense bar, it will be called as BOT, that is beverage order ticket. Once the waiter picks up the order, the KOT copy is dropped into a control box, which is always kept locked. The control box is maintained by the Food and Beverage Control Department to prevent any kind of fraud or malpractices. Now the second copy is given to the cashier because the first one is already in the control box. The second copy is given to the cashier and based on that the bill is going to be prepared, which has 2 copies again. The first copy of the bill goes to the guest and another is retained by the cashier. Now the second copy of the KOT and the second copy of the bill is going to be together, which will be submitted along with the sales summary to the Food and Beverage Control Department. The third copy of KOT remains with the waiter in the KOT book for reference and checking up the order during service. Now, this copy can be called for auditing at any given time. Duplicate checking method. This kind of checking method is used in small hotels, cafes, popular restaurants. This has 2 copies. The first copy is sent to the kitchen based on which the order is prepared. When the waiter picks up the order, the first copy is dropped into the control box. The waiter retains the second copy as a mean of reference during the service. When guests request for a bill, the waiter or cashier will sum up all the rates on the second copy of the KOT and it will be presented to the guest. Now, this is the flowchart of KOT and BOT. So we have F&B service area. This is our restaurant. From here, the order is taken. The top copy of the KOT is going to go to the kitchen. In return, we're going to get the food. So the food is served, top copy goes to the kitchen. The same top copy of KOT is going to go in the control box. Now when we have beverage order from the restaurant, BOT is going to come to the dispense bar. In return, beverages are going to be served. The top copy of the BOT is going to be sent to the control department. Now, second KOT copy is going to come to the cashier. And cashier is going to use the second copy to make the summary sheet, and then the same will be sent to the control department. Now, once he receives the second copy of the KOT, he's going to make the bill and will be sent back to the food and beverage service area. So we are talking about single order sheet now. This system is used in cafes, quick turnover restaurants, departmental stores. Many organizations following this system may have order sheet printed with the menu. So after taking the order from the guest, the waiter writes it on the KOT and calls for the order verbally. When the guest requests for the bill, the waiter punches the order sheet and hands it over to them as a bill. So while leaving the restaurant, the guest will submit the same bill to the cashier and will pay the amount. Here, cashier will retain the bill for control purpose. Service with order. The system of ordering is used in fast food joints, takeaway, cafeteria. Here, the menu offered in the establishment is displayed in wall-mounted boards. The guest will choose what he wants to eat and then place an order for it. The person at the cash counter will make the bill and collect the cash. He will also put a stamp as bill received. The same will be given to the guest. Now the guest will go to the respective food counter and will collect the food against the bill. So the bill will have another stamp which says the food delivered. This is what happens when we have service with order system used. Now quickly let's talk about types of KOTs. We're going to talk about 4 types of KOTs. The first type of KOT is to follow. This is where you're using 2 different KOT sheets to write one order. So let's say you have a food order of 6 courses. First sheet of KOT will have 4 courses and another sheet of KOT will have next 2 courses. This is called as to follow KOT. The second copy or the second type of KOT is supplement, wherein when an extra portion is ordered due to insufficient food, the same is ordered on the supplement check. Normally, the extra portion is not charged. Accident. Usually, when a waiter meets with an accident while carrying the order, the same order needs to be replenished. This is when you make an accident KOT. Return. When a wrong dish is ordered and is prepared by the chef. Again, the same has to be sent back to the kitchen and make the right dish. This is where a return KOT is prepared. Now, when we are talking about taking orders, you will find few digital gadgets around. Those are mainly, we have something called as network controller, remote receiver, bar printer, kitchen printer, visual display units, handheld iPad, point of sale touchscreen with bill and receipt printer. So what you see here to my right is point of sale touchscreen with bill and receipt printer. This is your handheld iPad and this is your visual display units. Bar kitchen printers will look like this. I hope you have watched the video carefully. Quiz link is in the video description to attempt the quiz. These are the references if you wish to have more knowledge on this topic. Credits to slidescarnival.com.
Okay, so yes, this is where she has explained the thing. Now that's where let us go to what you can say. Yes, where an ERP software in case we implement in for this KOT, that is kitchen order ticket system, then how will that work, right? So this is with the latest one, that what we will be essentially looking into instead of having the triplicate or the duplicate copies as such. Yes.
Hey.
इस वीडियो में हम आपको बताएंगे कि हमारे होटल एंड रेस्टोरेंट के सॉफ्टवेयर में आपने KOT मीन्स किचन ऑर्डर टोकन की एंट्री कैसे करनी है और उसकी रिपोर्ट्स कैसे बनेगी। तो इसके लिए सबसे पहले आपने एंट्रीज़ में आना है, क्योंकि डेली की जो भी ट्रांजैक्शंस होती हैं वो एंट्रीज़ में होती हैं। एंट्रीज़ में आके आपने KOT पे क्लिक करना है। तो यहाँ पे आपने एंटर प्रेस करना है, न्यू हो जाएगा। न्यू करके आपने डेट आ जाएगी, डेट के बाद एंट्री नंबर आ जाएगा, यहाँ पे KOT नंबर आ जाएगा और यहाँ पे वेटर नेम सेलेक्ट कर लोगे। जो भी आपने वेटर बनाए होंगे लिस्ट में आ जाएंगे। जिस वेटर ने सर्विस देनी है उसको सिलेक्ट कर लेंगे। सर्विस टाइप क्या है, यहाँ पे टाइप सेलेक्ट कर लोगे। अगर कस्टमर का पहला ऑर्डर आया है तो उसके लिए हम न्यू KOT सिलेक्ट करेंगे। किस टेबल पे आपने सर्विस देनी है उसको सिलेक्ट कर लोगे, टेबल को जिस पे सर्विस देनी है, ऑर्डर आया है जिस टेबल से। और यहाँ पे कोड आ जाएगा, कोड भी सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो या फिर सीधे यहाँ से आप जो भी आइटम का ऑर्डर आया है उसको सिलेक्ट कर लोगे। फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे पिज़्ज़ा का ऑर्डर आया है आपके पास, कोड अपने आप सिलेक्ट हो जाएगा। यहाँ पे क्वांटिटी दे देंगे, कितना ऑर्डर आया है क्वांटिटी, तो रेट दे देगा, अमाउंट अपने आप आ जाएगा। तो एंटर करते हुए हमने इस आइटम को ऐड कर दिया है, इसको भी हम सेव कर देंगे, ओके करेंगे। अगर आपने प्रिंट प्रीव्यू देखना है या प्रिंट करना है तो उसके लिए यस करेंगे। तो इस तरह से आपके पास प्रिंट भी आ जाएगा। ये फॉर्मेट टेम्परेरी लगाया हुआ है, जैसा भी आप प्रिंट चाहें, फॉर्मेट वगैरह चाहेंगे उसका डिज़ाइन हो जाएगा। तो अभी इसको क्लोज कर देंगे हम। इसके बाद अगर आपके पास नेक्स्ट ऑर्डर आता है उसी कस्टमर का, तो उसके लिए फिर से हमने KOT पे आके एंटर करेंगे हम। यहाँ हम नेक्स्ट ऑर्डर के लिए नेक्स्ट KOT सिलेक्ट करेंगे। अगर एक ही टेबल से दूसरा ऑर्डर आता है तो नेक्स्ट KOT हम सिलेक्ट करते हैं। तो जो भी टेबल बिजी होंगे उनकी लिस्ट आ जाएगी। तो जिस टेबल पे नेक्स्ट ऑर्डर आया है उसको सिलेक्ट कर लोगे। जैसे ये 101 टेबल पे दोबारा से ऑर्डर आया है, हमने एक और आइटम भेजनी है। मान लीजिए उन्होंने कॉफ़ी कप ऑर्डर किए हैं 2 कप, और यहाँ पे एंटर करेंगे इसको भी। तो इस तरह से नेक्स्ट KOT को भी आप डाल सकते हो सॉफ्टवेयर में। अभी इसको भी हम सेव कर देंगे। अगर आपने रनिंग KOT देखना है तो ऐसे करके यहाँ पे रनिंग KOT भी चेक कर सकते हो कि कौन कौन से टेबल बुक हैं, अभी KOT जो है पेंडिंग पड़ी हुई है, तो यहाँ से आप चेक कर सकते हो। अभी इसको सेव कर देंगे हम, ओके करेंगे। तो अभी हम एक KOT और बना लेते हैं, कर लेते हैं एंट्री। यहाँ से भी KOT को आप सेलेक्ट कर सकते हो, शॉर्टकट दिए गए हैं। तो यहाँ से एंटर करेंगे, एंट्री नंबर आ जाएगा, KOT नंबर आ जाएगा, वेटर सेलेक्ट करेंगे। यहाँ पे सर्विस टाइप क्या है वो सिलेक्ट कर लेंगे। अभी हम दोबारा से न्यू KOT सेलेक्ट कर लेते हैं। यहाँ पे देखिए टेबल जो 101 नंबर का टेबल है, यहाँ पे सॉफ्टवेयर आपको दिखाएगा नहीं क्योंकि वो अभी बिजी है। इस वजह से लिस्ट में से जो भी बिजी होंगे टेबल वो दिखाएगा नहीं सॉफ्टवेयर। तो न्यू केओटी आई है, नया कस्टमर आया है, उसके लिए नया बुक हो गया है टेबल। यहाँ से सिलेक्ट कर लेंगे, एंटर करेंगे, जो भी उसने आइटम मंगवाई है, ऑर्डर की है, उसको सिलेक्ट कर लेंगे। यहाँ पे जो भी क्वांटिटी डालेंगे, यहाँ पे 1 क्वांटिटी उसने स्प्रिंग रोल मंगवाया है तो ऐड कर देंगे। इसी तरह से इसको भी हमने सेव कर देना है, ओके करेंगे। प्रिंट करना है तो कर सकते हैं, यहाँ पे फ़िलहाल नो कर रहे हैं हम, इसी को क्लोज़ कर देंगे। तो इस तरह से आपने केओटी की एंट्री करनी है। तो अभी इसकी आप रिपोर्ट भी चेक कर सकते हो, इसकी रिपोर्ट बन चुकी है डिस्प्ले में। डिस्प्ले में आके आप केओटी लिस्ट चेक कर सकते हो कि कौन कौन सी केओटी हमने की है, ओके करेंगे। तो डेट वाइज आप चेक कर सकते हो, उस डेट की जो भी एंट्री की होंगी आपने वो सारी आ जाएंगी आपके पास, लिस्ट उसकी डिटेल आ जाएगी कि किस वेटर ने सर्विस दी थी, कौन कौन से टेबल नंबर पे दी थी, क्या क्वांटिटी थी, क्या अमाउंट था, सारा इसका भी टोटल पूरे का पूरा टोटल बन के, ग्रैंड टोटल बन के आ जाएगा नीचे। और यहाँ पे आप जो भी जिस केओटी के बिल बन चुके हैं उसको आप क्लियर पे टिक लगा के ओके कर दोगे तो वो आ जाएंगे सारी लिस्ट आपके पास, जिसके बिल बन चुके हैं वो केओटी लिस्ट आ जाएगी। और जो केओटी आप चाहते हो कि बिल नहीं बने हैं तो अनक्लियर पे टिक लगा के देख सकते हो। अगर दोनों देखना चाहते हो तो दोनों पे टिक लगा के ओके कर दोगे तो वो सारी लिस्ट आ जाएगी। तो यहाँ पे आप सर्च भी कर सकते हो, किसी अगर पर्टिकुलर सर्विस को आपने सर्च करना है, अगर आपने सिर्फ टेबल सर्विस को ही देखना है तो टेबल सर्विस सेलेक्ट करके आप चेक कर सकते हो केओटी की लिस्ट। अगर आप चाहते हैं कि पर्टिकुलर जो भी एम्प्लॉय है, वेटर है हमारा, इसके थ्रू कौन कौन सी केओटी इसने दी है, सर्विस दी है, वो देखना चाहते हो तो उसकी लिस्ट आ जाएगी। इसी तरह से ये भी सारी बहुत सारी जो ऑप्शन दी गई हैं, एंट्री नंबर, केओटी नंबर, टेबल नंबर, रूम नंबर, ये सारे सर्च के लिए दिए गए हैं। किसी भी तरह की केओटी को आपने सर्च करना है तो यहाँ से सर्च कर सकते हो अपनी रिक्वायरमेंट के हिसाब से। अगर प्रिंट करना चाहें तो आप प्रिंट भी कर सकते हो, इसको प्रिंट की ऑप्शन भी दी गई है। तो अभी हम इसको क्लोज़ कर देंगे। इसके अलावा डिस्प्ले में आप जो है केओटी रजिस्टर भी आप चेक कर सकते हो, सारी डिटेल इसमें भी आ जाएगी। तो अभी हमने केओटी की एंट्री की है, अभी हम जो है बिल बनाएंगे। तो बिल बनाने के लिए फिर से हमने एंट्री में आके बिल पे क्लिक करना है। यहाँ पे न्यू पे क्लिक करेंगे, यहाँ पे एंटर करेंगे, डेट डालेंगे, बिल नंबर आ जाएगा। यहाँ पे जिस सर्विस का आपने बिल बनाना है उसको सिलेक्ट करोगे। जैसे हमने टेबल सर्विस की एंट्री की थी तो टेबल सर्विस सिलेक्ट करेंगे। तो जो भी टेबल्स पर केओटी चल रही थी, हमने एंट्री की हुई है, बिजी है टेबल, वो टेबल दिखा देगा आपको। जिस टेबल का आपने बिल बनाना है उसको सिलेक्ट कर लोगे। यहाँ से मैंने 101 नंबर को सिलेक्ट कर लिया। सिलेक्ट करते ही सॉफ्टवेयर ने आपको डिटेल दिखा दी है कि इसकी क्या क्या आइटम थी, क्या क्या ऑर्डर किया था, किस वेटर ने सर्विस दी थी, ये भी दिखा दिया यहाँ पे इसने। नंबर ऑफ केओटी 2 है इसके। अगर ये जो कस्टमर है आपका कोई स्पेशल गेस्ट है तो यहाँ पे ऑप्शन दी गई है, गेस्ट का नाम दे दोगे यहाँ पे मोबाइल नंबर, रिमार्क्स में कुछ इसके रिगार्डिंग नोट करना चाहें कर सकते हैं। तो यहाँ पे डिस्काउंट भी, इसको परसेंटेज में डिस्काउंट भी दे सकते हो इस कस्टमर को। मान लीजिए आपने 10% जो है डिस्काउंट देना है इस कस्टमर को, तो 10% के हिसाब से ये अपने आप कैलकुलेट कर देगा सॉफ्टवेयर। इसने कम डिस्काउंट अमाउंट में अपने आप यहाँ पे बता दिया है 10% निकाल के सॉफ्टवेयर ने। तो इसका जो है नेट अमाउंट इतना बन गया है। अभी हमने इससे पेमेंट लेनी है तो यहाँ प्लस के साइन पे क्लिक करेंगे। तो जो भी अमाउंट बना है आप कैश अमाउंट में डाल दोगे उसको यहाँ पे। तो पेमेंट आपको कस्टमर कार्ड के थ्रू कर रहा है या फिर बैंक के थ्रू कर रहा है, उसी हिसाब से आपने जो ये ऑप्शन है आपने फिल कर देनी है। तो अभी से हम ओके कर देंगे, इसके बाद सेव कर देंगे। प्रिंट प्रीव्यू देखना है तो यस करेंगे। तो इस तरह से आपके पास जो है बिल बनकर आ जाएगा कस्टमर का, सारे डिटेल आ जाएगी, उसका जीएसटी वगैरह ऐड होके आएगा। तो ये फॉर्मेट टेम्परेरी लगाया हुआ है, आप अपने हिसाब से डिज़ाइन करवा सकते हो बिल को। अभी इसको क्लोज कर देंगे। इस तरह से आपने बिल बनाना है कस्टमर का। अभी हम बिल की भी रिपोर्ट चेक कर लेते हैं। यहाँ पे हम आएंगे डिस्प्ले में, आके बिल बुक चेक करेंगे, यहाँ पे ओके करेंगे तो जो भी बिल बना होगा उसकी लिस्ट आ जाएगी। जैसे ये दिखा दिया सॉफ्टवेयर ने कि टोटल इतना अमाउंट था, डिस्काउंट हमने ये दे दिया था कस्टमर को, तो टोटल नेट अमाउंट ये आ गया था हमारा। जो भी लिस्ट बनेगी, लिस्ट में से किसी भी कस्टमर को, किसी भी बिल को आपने सर्च करना होगा तो आप यहाँ से सर्च कर सकते हो। बहुत सारी ऑप्शन दी गई हैं आपको। अगर आप सर्विस के जो भी सर्विस टाइप है उसको पर्टिकुलर को सर्विस को देखना चाहते हो, आप मान लीजिए आपने सिर्फ टेबल सर्विस का देखना है कि जो भी बिल बना है तो आप टेबल सर्विस सेलेक्ट कर लोगे। अगर किसी वेटर का देखना है कि इस वेटर के थ्रू कौन कौन से बिल हमने बनाए हैं तो वेटर को भी सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो। गेस्ट का नेम दे सकते हो, बिल नंबर, मोबाइल नंबर से सर्च कर सकते हो। ये सारी जो ऑप्शन हैं वो सर्च करने के लिए दी गई हैं आपको, तो किसी के थ्रू भी आप सर्च कर सकते हो रिपोर्ट में से। तो इसको भी क्लोज कर देंगे। इसी तरह से अगर आप चाहते हैं कि सॉफ्टवेयर आपको वो क्यूटी दिखाए कि जिसका बिल बन चुका है, तो उसके लिए आपने क्लियर्ड क्यूटीज़ पे टिक लगाना है, तो वो सॉफ्टवेयर आपको दिखा देगा कि कौन कौन सी क्यूटी का बिल बन चुका है। अगर आप चाहते हैं कि जिसका अभी बिल नहीं बना है, अनक्लियर्ड है क्यूटीज़, उसको उसकी लिस्ट देखनी है आपने, तो उसको आपने टिक लगाना है, यहाँ से ओके कर देना है, तो वो सॉफ्टवेयर आपको दिखा देगा लिस्ट। तो इस तरह से ये भी आप चेक कर सकते हो। अभी हम क्लोज कर देते हैं इसको। तो इस तरह से आपने क्यूटी की एंट्री करनी है और उसका बिल बनाना है, उसकी रिपोर्ट आप चेक कर सकते हो डिस्प्ले में। तो इसके रिगार्डिंग कोई भी आपका क्वेश्चन है, कोई डाउट है?
This was regarding the ERP system as such for kitchen order ticket, right? So that's where we stop over here for today, and then on Wednesday probably that would be our last session with respect to one more system that we will be looking into. So that's where we will be looking into the fifth system as such in business systems and procedures, right? Yes, thank you class.
Hello,
And good night. Yes, yes.
ma'am. 1 second.
का तो आप हमें कमेंट बॉक्स में दे सकते हो।
Ma'am, when will you share the PPTs of our previous units?
Okay. I'll share
Will
next time.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, no problem.
Or I'll share it with sir and then he will pass it on to you all.
Yeah, ma'am. Sure.
Fine? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Good night.